It just seems like this is a year that Treyarch finally has control again. Black Ops 6 wasn't the game that Treyarch wanted to make, and they finally have control over the game. And they're like, yeah, you know what? The players are right. We need to change this. This is what they want. Back in BO6 or like previous CODs, it seems like, yeah, we know the issues, but our hands are kind of tied right now. We can't do it, whatever reason, or they just don't care.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 246 of the COD Casuals podcast. We're your host, Mike.
I'm Justin.
Justin, how we doing?
Doing pretty good. Solid day so far.
We were on a bit of a rant here for a minute.
Yeah. I finished work early. I knew that we were going to need time anyways.
We need time to debrief.
Yeah. We usually do anyways, like before each call.
We can't talk about what we were just talking about because that's
not that one. We can talk about I had my first ever like home ownership like issue, and it was a kitchen sink leak. It wasn't bad or anything, you know, like water wasn't flying everywhere, but I did have to call a plumber, and the guy fixed it, and that's that.
You know, the kids at school were asking about this because they did like a tour at they call it it's like their vocational school, you know. It's like what the school that
Trade
we
school.
had. Yeah, like their trade school. And they were all stoked on it. They're like, "Oh, dude, I want to be doing all this." They're like, "Mister, do you have to go to college if you go to a trade school? Do you have to?" Like, I'm done with high school. Like, I don't want to go to school after this. And I'm always telling them, I'm like, look, like plumbers make great money. Like contractors, people like this, if you're in a trade, you make good money, no doubt. I just kept telling them, I'm like, think about it when you're 50 doing that. Do you want to be doing that? You know, do you want to be a plumber at 50? You know, because you're going to have to be bending down, you know, doing all this stuff. It's a lot of manual labor. They're like, oh, yeah, I want to do that. I'm like, you're 13. Like, pump your brakes, bro. I'm 27 and I can say that. But I'm like, dude, once you get into the 30s, that's when the body starts to fight back a little bit. Like you guys casually can run like 6.5 minute mile. I'm like, you're a different breed.
Yeah. I mean, we need blue collar workers because so many people aren't going into the trades anymore. And it's honestly good. It's good stuff to know. But again, to your point, you kind of need like a backup plan, not backup, like a plan to like leave if your body can't handle it anymore, you know?
Right.
Because eventually everyone's body is going to give out. And yeah, I'm sure there are people that are working like in their 50s and 60s that are like construction workers. I don't think they want to be doing that though. That's the thing. So when you're in your 20s, it's fine. Like, dude, just work. Doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah, you can work through most things, you know, and especially too with when you want to have a family. If you want to have a family and you get into all that, that's where your job and everything can start to have a bigger impact on your life as a whole. You know, you can't talk to them about that, of course, but no, it is true. Those skills are definitely worthwhile to know. I don't know as much as I should, but I was going to ask you with it. Because I remember when my dad would ever have people, he'd always be like, "Come over here, you learn something." He'd always say that. And he was right because you just watch these people do this. If it was something that was like relatively basic or something that could happen again, you know, talk to the guy and learn how to do it to an extent, just so you're more knowledgeable about it. Or if, you know, you maybe have another person come in, you could be like, dude, what are you doing? You've been here for 2.5 hours. My last guy was here for an hour doing this. Like, what's the deal? Why are you charging me the same amount? You know?
Yeah. I mean, I'm the type of person that like I'm usually curious about things anyways, and I'm very much, if I think I'm able to do it, I'm gonna try first, and if I mess it up, so be it. Like, it's a mistake I'm willing to like pay for if I mess it up, and then I need to hire like a professional to do it. I think I'm pretty, yeah, I think I'm pretty aware of like my limitations. You know, like when I've reached that point where like, all right, I got to call a professional for it, because I mean, that's why they're professional. They went to, you know, trade school, or they went and did something for this. You know, it's like, I'm not going to call a plumber to go and handle my finances.
Right. But I've seen people too, though, that are on the other end that are completely hopeless. and I
Oh,
worry
yeah,
for them.
yeah, yeah,
Like when they get Wi-Fi, they're like, "Oh, dude, I need to go and like I gotta have someone set this up." I'm
yeah.
like, "Bro, it is not that
You
complicated." Like,
you get to the point well, some people, this is a thing, that can do this. You get to the point where if you make enough money, you will pay for convenience, and we're also talking about that too. And that's I mean, that's totally worth it if you can live that lifestyle, you know? We're talking about, raking leaves. Dude, if I had the money, I'd be paying someone to go and do all that stuff instead of me being out there for a couple hours doing it. Because in my head, I could be using those hours to do something else that like I want to do. I don't want to be outside raking leaves and bagging them. I could be spending those 2 hours like doing stuff for the pod or playing video games that
right.
I want to do, but I can't.
Yeah, there's certain things that are worth the convenience aspect to them, and then there's some things that I don't understand, or innovations on things that I don't understand. Um, like even going with gaming stuff, are you in like are you interested in VR at all?
I mean, I don't think I'm interested, but would I go out and buy my own VR? If someone gifted me it, I'm using it. But I'm not like itching to go buy a headset. I think it's cool.
Yeah, like we were talking about a whole bunch of like, what was it? Like the sensor trash cans
Yeah.
and this guy watching, he's like machine will cook for you and everything. Which I can see where they're going with that, like trying to make it a convenience factor, but even on an innovation aspect of
Mhm,
something in like the gaming realm where they're trying to get away from, oh, you're just going to be looking at a screen. They want the screen like you to be totally involved in it,
mhm,
which I've heard many developers and many people that are in that in that sphere talk about it, like like all meta and all that stuff. That's where they want to go with gaming. But I don't know if a lot of people really want to commit to having VR be like the future of gaming, and I don't know if it's ever going to be the future.
mhm.
Like where
Well,
now people hold a controller looking at a monitor. I don't know if we're ever going to
yeah.
be like, oh yeah, that's so obsolete. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the level of gaming I would want it to get to, we're nowhere near. So, I'm talking like I wanna throw on a headset, like in Yu-Gi-Oh! In those pods, throw on a headset, and my entire world, like, generates a whole new world. Like, and I'm in the game. You know,
Right.
and everything's like holograms. Because right now it's you put the VR headset on and you still have like it's a screen in front of you. It's just you can move around, but you just have a giant screen in front of you. Um, and that part's like interesting to me, mainly for like convenience, to where um if you're on an airplane, for example, right? Instead of me having an iPad or like a phone to watch movies, they make glasses basically. You put them on, and now you're looking at a 120-inch screen. And that would just be nice to be sitting on a plane watching a movie, basically in a movie theater. But I've looked at stuff like that, but not, buying a whole headset or something.
Yeah, I don't know anybody personally that even like plays VR or like does VR gaming consistently. I know a couple of people that have it and they like playing around with it from time to time, but again, it's always that they just have it almost as a I don't want to discredit it so much as saying it's like a gimmick thing,
Mhm,
but it doesn't seem to be something that when people go to VR, they're like, "Oh yeah, this is the way forward. I don't even bother playing like normal gaming anymore." You know?
mhm.
And
Well,
I don't
yeah,
know if
it's
it's
just a
ever gonna
fad.
get to that point.
I think it will. It's just a fad right now, I think, where I think people, like Meta, for example, they realize they can do more than just gaming with it. I mean, the Meta glasses, like, dude, you can get prescription glasses. They have
I saw
cameras
that,
on
yeah.
them,
Yeah.
um, and they came out with a version where, like, you see screens on your lenses, like that's insane.
Right. That is insane.
That's the part that it is creepy, but like that part excites me. It's like imagine I don't know, like you're out and about, you're walking or something, someone texts you, instead of your Apple Watch buzzing, it pops up on your your glasses now, and you can say like, "All right, yeah, respond to this," or whatever. Um, and I'm sure everybody's thinking, "All right, if they can do that with glasses, when can they start doing that with like contact lenses and
Right.
just stuff like that?" But I think it'll eventually get there. I don't know if it's gonna get to the point like in our lifetime. If it does, though, I would want to put on a VR headset and like I want to be in like Uncharted. I wanna
Oh,
be in Call of Duty. I
yeah.
wanna see what that's like.
Bro, can you imagine we're 50 and we're
Yeah.
playing Black Ops 12 or Black Ops
Yeah.
15
Or
like
or
that?
even, maybe it'll like, I don't think it'll get to games like that right away, but games like, that aren't made for, like, adventure and action, I'll say. Like, Subnautica, for example. Could you
Yeah.
like, I totally would buy a VR game that was exploring the underworld, the underwater, like the sea.
Yeah. Yeah,
And, like,
totally.
that's, like, freaky, though, like, you'd be surrounded by water, but you're in a VR headset, and you can just, like, go around and experience, like, different animals and things like that, you know?
Yeah.
That would
That
be cool.
that yeah, that for sure would be cool. I mean, if and again, if the tech got to that point where it was that good, I just, when I see stuff, like, even looking at the Meta glasses, it's fascinating to me. I mean, the technology is unbelievable that they can even do that. Um, but every time I look at it, I'm always just like, it's not quite there yet." Like,
Yeah,
this
it's
is
not,
so
yeah.
early days, you know? Comparatively speaking of, like, when I see the advancements, like, from that video, when you see the advancements from the PS1 to the PS5, you're like, it's unbelievable how much of a jump that is, and granted, all that time that's gone on, that's like 20 something years that gap is. Um, we're still at like the PS1 phase right now
Mhm.
with all of this like, like interfacing through like, not a watch, but like through screens or anything like that. It's just not quite there yet for me. When I see it, I'm be like, oh man, they've made some huge strides. Like this is starting to look really, really good, and it might be worth to give it a shot.
Yeah, and it's scary that it will I truly believe it's gonna get there at some point,
Oh, for
but
sure.
I think it's gonna get there faster than we think because, like, from PS1 to PS5, it took us so many years to get there, but, like, think about how fast we've been moving in technology, like, the technology advancements, where we've been moving so quick to where dude, the PS5 to us, like, just came out, and now they're talking about the PS6. Um, and you can even see it in just, like, phones too. It's not worth upgrading every single year anymore, whether you're using iPhone or, like, a Samsung. Like,
Right.
they're all the same for the most part, year to year. Um, I'm waiting like, side tangent, I'm waiting for, a new, like, Apple design. Like, I want a fold phone so bad. Like, the Google Pixel came out with a Google Pixel Fold, and, like, I started off on Android, and I only stayed on Google because I like their interface and it was stock. Um, and I switched to Apple just 'cause, like, everyone had an iPhone, it was just easier. But, like, iPhones are just boring, and Apple knows that. But I'm telling you, as soon as Apple announces their Fold phone, which is rumored to be next year, I'm buying that.
Yeah.
Pre-order. Yeah, 100%. 'Cau I'm waiting for, like, something like that to come out.
A real
Um,
innovation.
yeah, yeah. Either I'll look at it and be like, "You know what? Maybe I'll wait for the first generation to drop, get all of its kinks out, and then I'll buy the second generation of it." But I definitely want, like, something like that. But that's because I enjoy tech.
Yeah, and to that point, there has to be some sort of realistic innovation that everybody can notice and feel. Um, or there has to be some sort of convenience factor that's attached to it. Like I remember with the phones, uh you convinced me to do it with the 15 because that was when they had the USB-C. You were
Mhm.
like, Oh yeah, that's going to be the wave going forward. And everything that I have now is USB-C. Huge convenience factor. Totally worth it to be buying it. If they do go ahead with that fold there, yeah, that's a huge innovation that can totally change the way you use the phone.
Mhm.
Let's say
Or a
totally,
huge
but it
for
can.
some people. Yeah, it
Yeah,
can be,
for
yeah.
some people,
Yeah.
it could be a big change to the way you use it, and it's worth it.
Mhm.
But when you see all the other, pieces of tech that are coming along and they're trying to make these changes that are gonna be that big, it's like some of them you don't really need. Like, even looking at I
Oh,
was
yeah.
hanging with my buddy, yesterday, and he has the 17, Pro was the Pro Max, I think they have a Pro
Yeah.
Max version for that, and I was like, "Is it that like, how is it?" And he's like, "It's alright."
Yeah.
He's like, "Same
Yeah.
thing, basically." He's like, "Camera's a little bit better, but my old thing's like, if you're someone who's big into photography, like, you take it seriously, you're
Mhm.
not using an iPhone. Like, you've got a legit camera like you do,
Mhm.
you know? Um, I don't know, I just find that some of those innovations that these companies come along with, like, yeah, they may be making some steps that are, labeled as progress, but do people really want or need it is the question, you know?
Yeah.
Like that video I was telling you about, that guy who had that machine that goes and cooks dinner for you. Um, he didn't say how much it was, but it was a ton of money, I'm sure. Um, and he's like, "Yeah, it's great, like, you don't have to cook, you can just it's all done." He's like, "But you still have to you have to chop everything up, you have to put it in the containers." He's like, "That's the worst part."
Mhm.
So it really doesn't change that much. He's like, "The fun part is the actual cooking of everything, which this thing does." So if you wanna save yourself 20 minutes or a half hour, sure, but is it really worth it? No.
Yeah, yeah, it all depends on the person. Like, like, phones nowadays, there isn't the innovation is, like, the design, because a lot of phones now are the same,
Right,
which is why I appreciate, like, Samsung, like, doing different designs because 'cause they'll try it out. Apple just likes to wait, let all their competitors, like, test out, like, what's wrong, what they could improve on, and then they take that and they make it better.
right.
And, like, they're not gonna launch something until it's, like, perfect for them.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but for someone like you, I don't think you care about, like, a fold phone. Like, I would find ways to use a fold phone, but that's just because I enjoy tech. That's the only reason why I would get it, and I'm like, I could watch my video on a bigger screen. That's exactly why I would get it.
Right, right.
Um, yeah, or, like, just learning about I'm big into, like, learning about the little things that are, like, really inconvenient. Like, the more you use things, like EDC stuff, I'm, like, big into that.
Mhm.
Like, my wallet and keychains, like, I'm obsessed with the process and, like, efficiency of these tools
Yeah.
to the point where, like, my wallet on summer day, like, during the summer, I need it to work differently than how it would work during the winter and fall.
Right.
And, like, the keys to my house, no one else is gonna notice this unless I tell you. It's like all my doors to unlock is, uh, turning to the right. So
Yeah.
everything, like, to lock every door, you turn it vertically, it'll lock. And anytime you're turning the key, because normally when you stick a key into, anything, what do? You turn to the right, because
Mhm.
that's to start the car, to unlock the door. Every door in my house is like that. I replaced everything to be like that, and to lock is to turn left. No one will ever notice that if I don't tell them.
Some people would label that as obsessive, Justin.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Probably. But in my head, knowing that, I'm like, I appreciate that. Like, I don't know about, like, your door, for example, right? We'll get into COD, like, actually later. But, dude, oh my god, I hate, like, I've gone over my friend's house before, and their lock is, turning left is to unlock, and then their top lock is turning right. It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, the
I know
default is
exactly
to
what you
turn
mean.
right, and then the doorknob itself is, you don't turn right. Turning right is to lock it. You have to turn left to unlock it. And then
Yeah,
you turn left, and now you take your key out, it gets stuck, and then you take the doorknob and turn right to go in.
right.
I'm like, dude, I'll go and replace that.
Now my main door is turn right. No, it's turn left to open.
Do you
It's
have two
turn
locks though?
Yeah, well, it's got like a bolt,
Yeah. Well,
you
I
know,
guess it depends like which side your door, like your knob is on.
but even to that, a thing that is so nice is the main door to get into the building is, use an app. You can use an app
Yeah,
to
yeah,
open it.
yeah.
Life saving.
Dude, it's just
Like,
little thing.
it's like that's one of those things where I'm like, "Bro, whoever thought of it?" Because it's like, what's the app? I think it's a Butterfly. Dude, whoever thought this up, goddamn genius.
Mhm,
Like, they're on an island in Maui somewhere chilling, all because they were like, "You know what apartment complexes should have? They should have an automatic they should have almost like a POS system,
mhm,
or, whatever it is that when you scan into this, or if you use the app, you can go on there, slide, opens the door for 10 seconds, and you can go and video call and like bring people in. Um, oh, dude, it's the best. Instead of someone saying, like, hey, I'm here, and you have to go downstairs,
mhm,
you can just be like, got you.
mhm.
Swipe,
Yeah.
lock, like
It
you're in,
the
you
the
know?
lock on my door, I don't need a key. I have a key as an option. If I
Yeah.
want to, I just like, I take my watch, I tap it, it unlocks it. Or I take my phone, I
Yeah.
tap it, unlocks it.
Yeah.
If I
See,
have, like, guests coming over, well, one, I'll know them through, like, the cameras and stuff, or if I don't know, I need someone to come and, like, watch the dog, I can give them a code, a
yeah.
custom code for them, I know they're coming in,
Yeah.
and then it
Those,
disappears, yeah.
those are the tech innovations over time that they've done a good job, you know?
Yeah.
And for me, I'm almost like we've kind of peaked. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But there's probably going to be something in 10, 15 years that changes that makes me think differently about it. Cause you think people that like how long has it been that people have been opening fucking doors with keys? And then these
Mhm.
people came
Oh,
along
yeah,
and were
yeah.
like, you know what? Let's not do that anymore. We're done with keys. Let's go and
Mhm,
try this. And I'm like, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't you? Like
mhm,
that's the best way. But what's going to be the next thing? Like if you have meta glasses, you could scan your eyeball, or like you
mhm,
could just pull up the thing on your glasses and do it. Like you don't even need to take out your phone.
mhm.
Like could be the
I
next move.
got maybe because I notice, like, very small details, I gotta think of, like, the next big idea.
Yeah, bro.
The little details that no one will care about, like, you know what? That's a nice convenience. You don't even, like,
Mhm.
think about it.
Right, right.
I gotta think about
It
something.
those are going to be some deep thoughts as to like
Yeah.
every little thing that you do. You open a door, you're
Yeah.
like, how can I make this easy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
No, d
no,
literally.
you do a
It's
lot.
just those little things, it brings me joy, even though no one else knows. I'm like,
And there's
anytime I
some
turn the
guy
corner.
or girl out there who thought of that, and now they've got a private
Mhm.
island, you know what I mean? Like, it just
Oh,
changed
no,
their
no,
life.
yeah,
It's like, dude,
literally.
you just came up with that small little thing there, and that
Mhm,
and that was it, you know? I think that all the time, like, with, last thing, and then we'll talk about the COD maps. So with guitars, I remember thinking, I was like, dude, if you're on stage, like that's you get your guitar plugged into your amp or whatever. I'm like, that's gotta be a pain sometimes if you're walking around, especially if you got a long stadium. Like, how are you gonna be doing this? And then I saw some person that had a USB plug-in for their amp, right? So they just got
mhm,
one bit that they plug it into the guitar and then they plug the other in and they sync
mhm.
it that way. And I was like, it's like, man, that guy's so smart. Whoever thought of that,
Yeah.
like, legit changed the game for everybody who, like, you see the Rolling Stones and they're, walking all the way, like, like 100 feet out from the actual stadium into some huge platform.
Mhm.
I'm like, yeah, it's what they're using. But that guy had to have been playing, tripped on a chord, and was like, fuck this, man. Like, we have
Yeah, yeah.
Bluetooth. What are we doing?
Mhm,
And everyone was like, man, why didn't we think of that?
mhm. Yeah,
So, yeah.
exactly. You just gotta think of a problem and then fix it.
Well, good segue into this. I just saw on Twitter with it was what we were talking about last week with like little problems that they may have like with the maps that they're doing, because we got confirmations as to the remastered maps that we're going to be getting, which is great. But I saw Aches talking about it, and I haven't watched the flank yet where they discussed it. Um, But he was like, the main thing that's going to be worrisome about it is how they innovate on these maps to make these maps work for the new system, like for the new wall bouncing,
Mhm,
because they have a great thing already. Like we invented those maps, over a decade ago. But how are they going to just make some small tweaks to make
mhm,
it work for what we've got now? Um, and I do agree with him on that. I think that is a fair point to worry about because you don't know exactly what they've been thinking. It could work out, but it could also be like an MW3 situation where some of the
mhm,
maps that they put out, they just did not work on the game as well as they should have. They definitely had to have made some tweaks in order for it to be better.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, I watched it, completely fair argument. My counter to that is they put out a new, like, movement with the wall bouncing, and they designed all these new maps around that.
Hmm.
They're already thinking about that going into these remastered maps, whereas MW3, people wanted the original maps. They gave them the original maps. They
Right.
didn't touch. They maybe someone did take into account, like, hey, tax sprint and jumping on like certain parts of the map. You couldn't do that in previous CODs. In this one, you can. Um, I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm pretty sure they're probably like, you want the original maps? Here are the original maps, and didn't think about like tax sprint at all and how that would
Hmm.
impact the flow of the map. Whereas Treyarch, they've added like older maps. I'm thinking like Nuketown. It was like 2030
Hmm.
or no 2025,
One of them like that. Yeah.
something like that. But in BO3, like you had wall running in it, and they added wall running. I mean, they did it the best way that they could, and like it worked fine. I enjoyed that map still. Um, and yeah, it's like you made like a fair argument, but I think if you really want to get down to it, like say they didn't add this, right? The whole wall bouncing thing, and now they're going to remaster maps. The argument is going to be it's not going to feel the same because it's not the same COD. It's not from BO2. That's what the argument would be. So I think no matter what, when you bring a remastered map in, it's going to feel different because it's
Yeah, of
not the
course.
original game.
No, of course. Um, I think if you're going in with that expectation, you're for sure going to be disappointed
You have
because again,
you have the MW3 situation if you go in with that expectation.
yeah, and honestly, I'm thinking even that way too visually. Like going through the maps that they added, that said they're going to be at launch, which is great. It was Raid, Hijacked, Express, and then I think just those three. Then they said Standoff and Meltdown are going to be in season 1, and then Yemen, they haven't announced yet. It might be some sort of season 1 reloaded or season 2 potentially. Great lineup of maps, by the way. All like the heavy hitters getting them in there, which is good, and especially for the CDL and ranked. Um, but yeah, I have my idea. Like I know what raid, I know what all those maps look like, but for them to fit this game, I just don't think that they're going to look the same at all. I would honestly be
Yeah.
surprised if loading into raid and standoff and it's basically like Black Ops 2, it looks just like that, or even like Cold War, because those are pretty much like one for one copies, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it would look right if they kept it the exact same. Especially for the vibe that this game gives off, they have to be changing it visually.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are. I think they already confirmed that to where like they're doing this game is it's based in like Japan, like that's like the main scene. So
Yep.
I think a lot of these maps are gonna be like Japanese like style looking maps.
Right.
In terms of the like yeah, the flow of the map, it's probably gonna be a bit different. But like I'm thinking raid for example, you can essentially bounce off any wall in this game. I don't see where they can fit like they're not going to add an extra wall or something, but I'm thinking like in Zig for example where you go up into the stairs and you meet across for like if you look across it's the kitchen.
Mhm.
Normally in a game you would have to run through Zig and then you chow like into the kitchen. In
Yeah.
this you can hop up a wall and probably go over the wall and like snipe someone or like
Yeah.
pre fire before like you get into Zig.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking things like that. It's definitely gonna look different visually, but in terms of how the map, like, if they add other walls or, like, other features into it, I don't think they're gonna do that much, at least in Raid, because I don't think you can. But the flow of the map's gonna feel different because you can imagine, yeah, wall jumping that, or where the stairs are that go into mid, if you run up on those walls and then
Oh,
fly
yeah.
over, like, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what
Uh,
I was thinking, like, if you're going down the stairs and there's some, like, if they have a hill by the pool, oh,
mhm,
dude, you could just be,
and
like,
then fly
flying
into the pool.
way. Yeah, you could be doing a whole bunch, or even that window that's up at the top house there,
Mhm,
you might be able, well, not might be able, I'm sure you're gonna be able to wall bounce your way up there
mhm,
and just climb into that window, which you've never been able to do before. You always had to go around the back and take the stairs up.
mhm,
Um, yeah, that's a good point. I don't know if they're gonna add a lot of walls to it because this isn't like a Black Ops 3 situation where you could be continuously running, and, like, when they did that with Nuketown, they for sure added those walls
yeah,
all around the map so you could just traverse it easier. Um, but because you can't do this in the game, but can bounce off of basically any surface, I don't know if they're just gonna slap some platforms, like, around the map,
mhm.
just cover some stuff up and be like, "Hey, here is a spot where you could use it." Um, yeah, I don't
I
know. I
I
even think
don't think
from
so.
mid I even think from mid, like, the walls that, like, from spawns when you're coming up the
Mhm,
stairs either side, and they have those, not like from the kitchen side, from the other side there where they have that
yeah.
wall that's like a dividing thing.
Yeah,
If you're
Zig. Yeah, Zig.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You could jump over and view that.
Yeah,
In the kitchen, it's not worth it.
mhm,
Like, thinking about even in the driveway, like, I can't remember what hilt that was where they have that whole, like, figure in the middle there. Um, it's not really worthwhile to be doing it there either. Like, are they going to try to add stuff into that
mhm.
area to make the wall bouncing more prevalent? Who really knows? But
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, in the driveway, for example, you have the walls on the left and, like, to curve up, into the raid area where the statue is.
yeah.
That's like an immediate gunfight right there.
Hmm.
Instead of that person coming up the driveway now, you can run up against a wall and bounce up. So now you can see people coming, like, within a split second, and then you're gonna fall back down, but now you know where people are.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and then, yeah, to your point that the window, like, overlooking the pool, you might be able to just, like, jump straight into that window.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think, though, when you said that, because it brought back, like, memories. Couldn't you jump on the right side? Like, if you're looking up into the window, like,
Was like a planter there that you could jump
yeah,
up
jump
and
up
then
and then,
jump
like,
up and grab onto it to the right.
I
Uh,
want
you may have been able to, but if you were, it was definitely not something that people did, easily.
yeah, because I remember, like, something like that. But, yeah, for raid, though, I think it's just more lines of sights. Like, it
Yeah.
creates more line of sights. Um, and my thing is, okay, I enjoy all these maps. They make really good competitive maps, but the fact that Treyarch went and designed a bunch of new maps for this movement, and the maps that we got so far are at least good, maybe we don't need all these maps in, the rotation for ranked too and competitive. But, the more the merrier. I don't think they're gonna add, like, extra pieces into the map just to make it uh able to, like, wall jump everywhere, because 'cause you're gonna be able to, like, hit any wall for the most part.
Mm. And to what we were saying, there's going to be a definite change of flow. I mean, I would assume that there's going to be because of the movement. Um, there could be a chance that those maps do play way different and people aren't happy with it. That
Mhm,
that for sure is a possibility because of the speed of the game and with that new movement in there. And if that is the case, it's good that we've got maps that we could be, falling back on that we know work with the movement that they've got in there. I I don't think it's going to have as drastic of an impact as I'm saying right now. I think that they will play differently for sure, but um I don't think it's gonna go to the point where Raid is a classic map and everyone loves it, and now people are gonna be like, "What did they do to this?"
mhm.
There's no way this map works with what they've changed and with the movement that Black Ops 7 has. I think it's just gonna be it's gonna be a change, and whether people like that or not is gonna be the factor of, oh, for, um for the CDL. Are they going to actually use this map, or do they think, some of these other maps that we played in the beta or whatever else they're going to have at launch, these maps actually do play a lot better. Even though Raid is like
Mhm.
a goated classic map, or Express, any of them could be subject to that. Where yeah, it's great, but with this game and how it plays, it may not be the best option.
Yeah, like, I'm just thinking in Raid, the statue, you know how you have all the blocks, like, around the statue?
Oh yeah, he's bouncing off.
Dude, yeah, well yeah, or, like, you go on the hill, normally, you would have to run up, like, you heady a block or whatever. Now you could just run up, bounce up a block, it's like a super advanced jump shot
Yeah,
when you're
yeah.
doing it. People would get on top of the statue and then, like, jump off of that and kill someone. Now you can bounce off the statue and, like, go over somewhere, you know?
Yeah, or I think about on Express too, like you could if you want to get up on top of the trains, you don't have to go across those catwalks.
Yeah.
You could just go and wall bounce
Mm,
off of it and just shimmy right and boom, you're
mhm,
up there. And if you could do that, you could maybe go and like get view on someone who's like on the train platform
mhm,
if you're outside one of the windows there, which is insane because you never
yeah.
would have been able to do that. But because of that movement, it's definitely going to change the lines of sight and gunfights that go on.
Yeah, and that this is our cracked, like, movement in Call of Duty brain thinking.
Yeah,
Because could you imagine trying to explain this to someone, like, back in BO2 that
what
the
someone could do.
dude, the
Yeah.
abilities that we might be able to do on these maps are insane. It people are gonna hate it, I'm sure. I'm just gonna say, like, just adapt, get a little bit better at the game. But I think it invites more creativity into the maps. Like in Search and Destroy, dude, there have been times where I get like pieced out of nowhere. I'm like, what line of sight did you catch me from? And it's something crazy that
Some nerdy spot.
I would have never thought about.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I can already see if snipers are in. I don't know if those snipers are going to be in for competitive. But like, could you imagine someone running up into Zig instead of like peeking now? Someone bounces up the wall, goes up the wall, one shot, and then drops back down.
Yeah, it would be ridiculous.
You
It
get
there
all these new lines of sights that you never had before.
but I like that though,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I'm not, and I know
Creative.
you're with me on it. When I'm one of these people, when you see that and like, "Oh, it has to be traditional, like, it should have been that way." I don't mind the innovation because to that point, we've played Raid many times and, some of these maps, yeah, we haven't seen them in recent years, like Yemen hasn't been in I don't think it's been in, any other COD other than BO2. So it'll be nice to see that, but it'll be good to get some new life breathed into that map instead of it just being the same thing that we've had for all these years. And whether it's lines of sight that change, new gunfights that come up, etc. I think as long as the main integrity of the map is intact, then it's going to be fine anyway. I'm open to all those things going down. I don't have a problem with it. I'm sure there's plenty of people though that they're going to die by that stuff, and they're going to be, dude, they ruined Raid. They ruined it, bro, because you could do this. Look at how ridiculous this is. I'm like, well, man, you just got to think differently now. Okay,
Mhm,
don't be in that spot because
mhm.
some shit could go down, or you're not as safe as you once used to be. You know, but I honestly, I think it was great seeing the maps that they put out for this. It's more than likely in response to what we talked about in the last episode 245, which go check it if you haven't. So we talked about the whole Battlefield versus Call of Duty thing, which is obviously still going to be going on throughout the whole rest of 2025. Um, and this is just another thing that Treyarch is trying to do, and successfully, and totally right that they should, um, to have people remain interested in the game because there's going to be a lot of the old heads who are coming out being like, "Man, I want those Black Ops 2 maps," and previous developers might have been like, "Oh, we're going to give them to you. We're going to give them to you," and they keep dangling the carrot and they
Yeah.
keep on. But thankfully, Treyarch's like, "Look, at launch, you're getting some of the best ones already. Season 1, we're going to be giving you more." And I'm sure they're going to continue this out through the life cycle of the game, which
Mhm.
is definitely an encouraging sign.
Yeah, and I mean, on top of that, Treyarch, the fact that they're announcing this is good, and they've got a bunch of feedback from the beta, and like they're actually implementing changes. Like, if you guys want more of the notes and stuff on it, just go on Treyarch's Twitter or X, because like, dude, we talked about ADS, dexterity, like how you need dexterity to feel uh the game should be flowing, like it should be flowing that quick. And if you didn't have dexterity, you were at a disadvantage.
Right.
They address that. They're speeding it up. Like so now you don't need dexterity. Like I think the level of speed, I guess, and like with dexterity on, like that's a standard now. And now if you add dexterity on top of that, like it's even quicker. And the fact that they listen to that feedback is crazy. And there's just so much other stuff that they got into too. Like they did some the aim assist like tunings. They did like the sliding mechanic tuning, um, the perks too. Like they combined a lot of perks to make them better instead of
Yeah.
having so many different perks like collide with one another.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at because I was trying to see if I could find it from when Charlie Intel tweeted it out regarding some of the new perks, like the setup that they changed for them. And again, it's it's endless regarding the feedback that they got and that they implemented.
Mhm.
They changed a lot of the perk slots, so I think like I'm pretty sure it was, dexterity was no longer like some crutch perk that you had to have on and would
Yeah, you
always
don't need it
take up
anymore.
that slot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and then same thing with like talking about the aim assist, they went and gave like, just more input on what's actually going on with that because we saw that and we're skeptical about it. Just like most people were.
Mhm.
They Treyarch has just been on it this entire game so far.
The game's
Everything
not
that
even out.
yeah, I know,
Yeah,
which
whatever.
is it's crazy. Everything that they've been promising that they were going to do and listen to, they have done. This really does. I mean, again, we're saying it, and the game hasn't come out, but this really does seem like it's the game that they're trying to make for the people. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
All these things that people are asking, they're not fighting people on and saying that, oh, we're going to stick to our guns. We want this. Um, I feel they've kind of like I say rolled over, but been like, yeah, sure, you're right. Like, let's go do that. They hear dexterity, like, yo, this is bullshit. We don't want this like as a crutch perk. And they were like, okay, you're right. Like, let's go
Mhm.
and do this. And everyone's like, you serious? Like, thank God, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like we're all surprised that they're actually doing it because we haven't had that in, since this whole new
years.
era. Yeah, I mean, since 2019, we really haven't had much
Yeah.
feedback like that.
Well, again, it just seems like this is a year that Treyarch finally has control again. Again, I feel like Black Ops 6, which by the way, our review's gotta come out in like the
Yes, I
next week.
know.
Because the game's gonna come out I think like next episode to be or yeah, probably next episode or the week after, you guys are gonna hear the final review before Black Ops 7 comes out. But Black Ops 6 wasn't the game that Treyarch like wanted to make. And it feels like this year they finally have control over the game and they're like, yeah, you know what? The players are right. We need to change this. This is what they want,
Yeah,
or like back in BO6 or like previous CODs, it seems like, yeah, we know the issues, but our hands are kind of tied right now. Like we
right,
can't do it for whatever reason.
right.
Or they just don't care. But like, yeah, all the stuff that I listed, even like I'm looking right now, that the mantling speed. People complained about that being slow, which is true. They
Mhm.
sped that up. It's just so many little tweaks that they are adjusting, and they're adjusting right now for the launch of the game. It just makes me excited for it. And they even like updated part of the UI in zombies. I'm those are like very little things. Like a
Yeah,
UI.
that's and that's what I'm getting at. There's things that are nitpicky to us, but they are big, but they're still nitpicky like that. The mantling speed when, jumping or like anything like that. They most times you'd hear that and be like, "Okay, whatever," it's not
Mhm.
that big of a deal. Or for us, we would just be like, "It sucks, but you have to deal with it," it's not gonna change. Um, it's been surprising that most things that have been presented to them have been changed. And that's no doubt why people are excited for this game to be coming out. And I'm curious to see how the numbers do, especially with some of these changes that they made. But just too with the people that are on the Battlefield train have been liking Battlefield. And now, from what we're hearing and what we've been seeing, Call of Duty's in really good shape to be doing phenomenal this year. I'm curious how many of those Battlefield people are going to be like, you know what? Let me give COD a try. Let me see.
And
Let's see what it's all about.
again, I'm sure they will
Yeah,
because
no doubt.
unless you're a true Battlefield like fan, I think you're just gonna stay on Battlefield. But I will argue that most people that are like true fans of like one title, they're not even talking shit about the other title.
Right.
It's like you and I don't play Battlefield. I didn't pre-order Battlefield. I'm not gonna pre-order it. The game does well. Sure,
Yeah,
that's great. Great for them. But I'm a COD person. Like I'm gonna play COD. You know,
bro.
I don't like to switch up my FPSs. If I can get Battlefield 6 for free, I'll probably play it for like a couple days,
You
and
know
then
who?
like I'm gonna switch to COD.
You know who has the biggest choice? The Halo people.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
They
Yeah,
they got to make a choice. Red pill or blue pill. What do they do? Like
yeah,
they're
yeah.
they're screwed right now. I feel so bad for them. Did you watch the
The
Halo?
finals.
Yeah, the grand finals, like world
Yeah,
championship there. That was devastating.
it was sad because
Yeah,
it
I mean,
wasn't even like it wasn't really a fight.
no, it was not.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
Mhm,
I mean, people hopefully watched it or saw a little bit about it with Halo. I mean, we know Halo is the esports basically coming to an end, if I'm not mistaken, right? Is that fair to
mhm.
say?
Yeah, yeah,
Like there's no game that's coming on after this. They don't have any plans to be continuing with HCS.
yeah.
Like I think that's it. And we had the last tournament. We had Formal there for Optic playing. I was hoping, Justin, I was hoping that Optic Halo, they would go out on a W and Formal would end getting his gold, getting another chip.
Mhm,
Um, but it didn't happen. And it's like we were saying with some of these rosters, there's people that are coming from Halo now because they don't know what's next for them. And Foreman was one of those people too that was rumored to be going to Call of Duty. And everybody like lost their minds when he did some interview with
mhm.
Hex and he's like, I might just be like saying, fuck it, I'm done. Like I
Yeah,
don't he's like, I might wake up and be like, yo, I want to play, but um it seems to be that he's not really that interested in playing Black Ops 7 professionally.
mhm.
I don't think he's tied up with anybody or is really talking to many people, even though teams would want him. Um, it's I tweeted it out, man. It really is an end of an era. We think about how far we've come and how far um Call of Duty has come and how much we've been playing it and watching it over the years. And we're getting to this point where, we're coming down to the last few people they're still hanging on from the old days. And he's
Mhm.
one of those too. And we never got to see him play.
I know. Yeah,
He's the
I
one
mean,
guy that escaped us, bro.
MW19 ruined it for us,
It
man.
did.
And yeah, I mean, the interview with Hex was, I mean, it was good, you know, but he is done. Like I don't see him like coming back, but he did say, we're gonna make you guys proud. I'm like, oh god, he's so confident. And but that's the thing with this Optic Halo team, they always finish short. They've always finished short, and like, man, like I think I'd rather finish like dead last at that point.
Yeah.
Like imagine Seattle or Vancouver, dude. Imagine coming second. What was it like 7 times? No, 5 times.
Yeah, bro.
Dude. You're so close, and you get to that Sunday, and for some reason, the Sunday's got a chokehold on you for
Yeah.
whatever reason.
And 2 at the biggest tournament of the year. Like, they've
Mhm.
gotten second, I think, at that world championship. I think they've gotten second, I wanna say it was 3 years in a row. Um,
Oh, they won
they
the.
won 1 year for sure, like, but this was a
Uh,
few years ago now. I
I want no,
can't
I wanna
remember
say it was the
exactly.
last I wanna say it was the last world championship that they won. Like, in terms of, like, tournaments in second places and or thirds, like, that's been multiple tournaments this season.
Okay, okay, so I could be wrong then. So, um, but I'd have to go look at it, but to your point, though, yeah. I feel like I'd rather get smoked because, again, that second place, you just come so close every time. And yeah, like Vancouver is like that second all the time during the season. They get to COD champs, same thing. It's just you can't take that for very often. You have to make a change or something's got to give. Yeah, mentally, I'd be strained beyond belief if that's what it was. Like, can you imagine after that, those guys must have just been fucking beside
Oh
themselves.
yeah. Yeah. And too, like the players around him, because he in the interview, he said, "This is my last event, guy. Like this is Formal's last event." Dude, if
Right.
I'm teammates with Formal, I'm like, "Dude, I have to win. We have to go and win
Right,
for him."
right, right, right.
That's a true, like, leader and captain. The people that you are a team, but, like, you wanna win for them because
Oh, yeah.
you respect them, like, so much. It's like, Scumptooey is one of those players. Like, you go out and you want to win for them so bad, and you just come up short. Ah, dude, that is just brutal.
And too, like, he has that, he's got that aura about
He does
him,
have the
like,
aura, yeah.
his legendary status as an FPS, like, legend. Um, you don't wanna be the guy that's going double negative in grand finals and he's frying. You'd hate to be remembered as that guy, and he just
Mhm.
gives you that look. You're like, "Dude, I know. I totally blew it for you."
Yeah.
Um Yeah, it is sad to see him more than likely retire from competitive gaming. Who knows if it's actually going to happen or if he's going to put out a real statement about it. But yeah, it is very true that we're coming to an end of an era with a lot of these people
Mhm.
that we knew. All the guys from the Optic Dynasty now, they're all like retired. None of them play anymore, um, and it's weird. It's
Dude, time's going by
I
fast.
I
It goes by
know, I know.
quick. The
It
No, I was gonna say that Hex was joking about, like, no esport players ever jumped to a 3rd game and placed pro or become a pro and win a world champion,
Yeah, right.
or a world championship, and he was like, "Who knows? Maybe, like, if you wanna go to Apex, you win a world championship there." Which I think at that point, like, I'm sure he's still competitive. Like, you don't lose that competitive drive. It's just, do you wanna, like, start over and put in that work to, like, get to there again? And it's, like, a ton of work. Like, you don't just show up and it
Oh,
happens.
yeah.
Um, I think that, those are the players, like, like, Tom Brady, for example. He was obsessed with winning, and those are, like, players like Formal.
Probably
Like, they have
sacrificed
dude
his marriage.
dude, yeah, they have an insane mentality, and I think at least with Formal, like, he knows, like, "You know what? I don't know if I wanna put in, like, all that effort," because then he'd be, he wouldn't be doing right by his teammates. Imagine if, like, you didn't try as hard and everyone else around you is going so hard. I mean, that's what happened in Cold War.
Mhm.
I think it was Cold War. Um, and he was like, "No, I can't do this anymore."
Yeah, eventually you put a strain, and I remember seeing a lot like, that tends to be the thought with a lot of these guys that when they're doing this. I remember Scump saying that,
Mhm,
and, Octane in particular, like, they still love competing, but the grind to be that good, they lose the passion for that, the scrimming and whatnot. And then if you're not doing that, then yeah, you do feel like you are a detriment to the team if you know that, yeah, I'm not putting in as much time as I should be to be
mhm,
the best. Um, and for those guys, because they're so competitive and they've been so successful, they know what it is, what it takes to be at the top,
mhm,
and they're like, "Yeah, I'm not putting in the best. Like the way I'm playing right now, and the way that I'm like how I'm, you know, uh, scrimming and whatnot.
mhm.
This isn't enough. Like we won't win the way that I'm doing this, and I'm not going to hold them back."
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but that's a hard call to make when you're like, "Yeah, I would be the problem," you know.
Mhm,
After especially those guys, like if anyone's gonna have egos, like Scump and Formal for sure, like they've done it all, but they still have to check themselves and be like, yeah, it's not worth it.
mhm.
Um, that
And,
would be sick to see him at Apex though. Would be cool.
yeah, I mean, they have every right to, have that expectation too.
Yeah. Well, and it just blows me away too that Halo, like I don't get why they're not doing anything more with that, honestly. Because that brand is so strong, like, I
Mhm,
mean, it still is, even though I know it's died quite a bit,
Mhm.
Because Microsoft, they just, they find ways to ruin things. But,
Yeah.
like, they people would still be into that if they were developing a new Halo, or they were just trying to be giving more support to the current Halo that they have. Um, they could keep it going for sure, and I don't think he would retire if that was the case. If he knew that he had a future in gaming, but right now, I think that's why he's up in the air about it, because he knows in COD there's really not many spots that are left, especially at this stage in the game. Halo's over, and like your third option is, yeah, you have to go to a new esport.
Mhm.
And do you want to do that? Like, probably not.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you lose a competitive drive ever though. Like I think I could see him just I'm sure he's gonna show up on the watch party, Scum's watch party for COD every now and then. But then I could see him watching it and be like, man, like you get that itch, you know?
Yeah,
Like we get that itch of, yeah, let's hop into ranked. And he's like, I need to go and compete against
right.
like these kids now.
He plays him. He's like, dude, these guys are terrible. He's watching them. These guys are
Yeah,
terrible,
the
dude.
that's the other thing, but on top of that, I can't see him, like, sitting at a watch party and, like, watching the bad games, like, going through, BO6 and how bad some of the games were, and him just
Mhm.
sitting there and be like, entertaining. The whole
Right,
time, I think he would just be fixated on, like, "Dude, they're so bad. Like,
right,
why
right.
aren't they doing this?" And he's just, like, tweaking out because
Yeah,
they're not doing the right thing.
yeah, and knowing that he could do it better.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly, and he's like, "Why am I not, like, in this?" Like, he
right,
he actually has all the qualities of a great coach, but I don't think he wants to coach. Like, I
right.
think he would be a phenomenal coach.
Yeah, I think so too. Definitely. Though all those guys who were in that realm, like back then, that just have unbelievable experience. It,
Mhm,
it could definitely. I mean, look at JCap. Like, he was right in that realm. Played forever, had the experience, had won at the top, and was a phenomenal coach. Um, but some of those guys, like for him, I think it would be hard for him to sit back
mhm,
and be the coach. I feel like he'd wanna just be competing all the time, but who knows? It could be wrong.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know what his future holds. We'll have to wait and see what goes on with him, but
Yeah. I'm sure he'll succeed in whatever venture he wants to go into next.
yeah, no doubt. Something I wanted to close on, because we do have some, like, I mentioned a CDL thing in here talking about Toronto Ultra being Toronto Koi. Not really much to talk about. I find it interesting. Cool, whatever.
Mhm.
But there are some CDL stuff that's been developing. I want to save that for another episode, because some of these teams have been shifting around. Um, and they're still in that weird, like, I know Carolina's in there, so we'll have to.
And they're shifting around, like, as we speak.
Yeah, yeah. So hopefully next week when we have that, we may have, like, okay, this is definitely what it's gonna be. But I put a little small thing at the end, like talking about Halo. You saw this, right, with that Halo campaign, how this is gonna be
Mhm.
like a Halo campaign evolves going to come into PS5. I am seeing two sides to this. I'm seeing the people that love this, and then I'm seeing the people that are like, this is like the dumbest thing ever.
Mhm.
Xbox are like, they're complete idiots. They've lost the war. Like, where do you align on this? Do you think this is good or bad that
I'm
Halo's coming to PS5?
I think it just shows that Halo needs a bigger community, and which plays into part why like there is going to be no competitive scene anymore. It's like they need more players on Halo. And be I enjoy the exclusive like games, that's where you got the Xbox versus PlayStations, but realistically nowadays like you don't even have that anymore. Because especially when PC got introduced into it, like the mix. Cuz Uncharted or I wouldn't use Uncharted, like The Last of Us for the longest time was an exclusive, and every PlayStation player could flex that and be like, "We got The Last of Us. No one else has this." And then it got released on PC. And on PC, you have better graphics, like way better graphics than on console. It runs way smoother. And now there's nothing like mesmerizing about, you know, the PlayStation. Now it's like I think a lot of people nowadays just pick consoles based on what their friends have because you can just play with whoever now. Like, it doesn't really matter. But Halo coming to PlayStation, I mean, I'm not gonna play it, but like if it's free, I will. But like,
You know that shit's not gonna be free.
dude, yeah, I played Halo on the OG Xbox, like, and it was fun, but I was just always like a PlayStation person, you know. It's like cool. I think it's cool that PlayStation players get it now, and I guess now you can like sort of settle the beef of are PlayStation players better than Xbox? I mean, yeah, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Dude, I think that first off, I think PlayStation, other than like in the 360 era, I think Xbox won the console war that year. But
Mhm,
ever since then, I don't think it's been remotely close between PlayStation and Xbox. I think PlayStation has always beaten them.
mhm,
Um, and to now having Halo on PlayStation be for those people, it's great for the community because I might get some people listening who are just mind blown by this. I've never played Halo, not once. I've
you never
never,
had an Xbox.
yeah,
Yeah,
never had an Xbox. I never had an Xbox, and I never went over people's houses who had Xbox. I didn't associate with it. No,
mhm,
no, I just like nobody that I knew played Halo. And I still don't I actually don't know anybody that plays Halo, like, honestly. So I never did. I'd be curious to play it though, like, if the campaign and everything, I've heard it's a phenomenal story.
mhm,
It's just like Gears of War. Like, they're slowly doing this. They did that with Gears, played it, it's okay. I
mhm,
like it. I don't think it's, mind-blowing, but I like it. Um and then I think they're going to do the same thing with Halo. They're just like, hey, we have a beloved franchise that people maybe did play on the 360 back in the day, and they want to be playing it again. And they're now like, our age, and they have PlayStations,
mhm.
um, and they can go and do it. I think it's a good move, but for Xbox, I think it kind of just they're like dying, they're slowly dying and decaying away, and they're just giving out all their best shit. You know, they're
Mhm.
like, "Oh, you guys want this game? Yeah, take this game. Yeah, take this. You want this? Yeah." And Sony's over here just like, really?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, damn, you don't even want to hold on to these. Like, this was your one leg up on us. Like, if you wanted to have Halo, you could make another one. Like, if they do make another Halo, what are they going to do? Are they going to put it out only on Xbox now? Like, no
mhm,
chance. They got to put it out on all consoles, I'd imagine.
mhm. Yeah,
But
I don't it's weird. Imagine if, um, like, Xbox and PlayStation united, Microsoft and Sony.
never.
I mean, it's never gonna happen because they make way too much money.
No.
Um, but I don't know, like, I think it's good that all of us are able to play with each other now. Because back in the day, if you were on Xbox, you were only on Xbox because all your friends were.
Right.
Same with PlayStation. That's usually what divided most people. And Xbox was the system where like you had to pay to play for a while, and that's what appealed to so many people about the PlayStation because it was free at the time. Then they
And
fucking start charging us money.
and
Crazy.
now I don't know, if you're someone who's getting into gaming now in 2025, I don't really see why you would choose an Xbox over a PlayStation personally. If you're
Mhm.
going to be going the console route, most people listening to this would probably say, of course, get a PC,
Yeah.
if you've got the money for that. Um, but back in the day, it seemed to be either you would make the choice like I did because I had a PlayStation. I always had PlayStations growing up. Some of my friends played PlayStation, so you had like brand loyalty that way. But you could at least make a choice because there were pros and cons to both those consoles. Again, Xbox you had to pay for, but the online scene was insane. PlayStation was free, but again, yeah, it wasn't as hype. Um, and yeah, the exclusives part of it too. But now I don't see why you would ever get an Xbox. If you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna get it for Christmas. That's my first console." I'd be like, "Bro, why?"
Mhm.
Like, you might
Yeah.
as it's a complete waste in my opinion. You
Yeah.
either go PlayStation or if you got the money, PC, and you call it a day.
Well, that's the thing. I think nowadays most people just think PC. Like they don't even think console at all. They're like jump straight to a PC to buy one.
Made me cry, Justin.
Um,
Don't think about it
but
anymore.
Xbox, like I think the people that still buy Xboxes because obviously they're still making like a ton of money is a brand loyalty. Like
Yes.
if you had an Xbox 360, which you know won that battle,
A lot of people did.
yeah, like you're still gonna buy an Xbox. You know, you're not gonna jump to a PlayStation. And I guarantee you, most of those people are like the very like super, super casual gamers where like they just play 2K and Madden. That's what I think of Xbox players. They're not gamers. No, that's a lie. They're gamers. But I think when people that don't play video games a lot, they think PlayStation, they're like, oh, those are the people that are like into gaming.
Yeah.
They're like legit gamers. When you buy Xbox, you think entertainment system. You got your Netflix, you got your Hulu, you got, your the HBO, and you can play, your games on the side too.
Well, yeah, that's what I think it was with the I think it was with the 4. It was in that video, like going back to what we were saying at the beginning. That guy that I was talking about who was doing all the PS1 to 5s, and when he got to the 4, that was where I think the Xbox had, I think that
X
was that the Series X that they had? Or was that the no, it was the I think or the Xbox One.
Oh, the one. Yeah, yeah, the
I think it
one.
was the
Yeah, yeah.
one, yeah. Um, and Xbox was branding it as this huge entertainment console, and
Mhm.
you couldn't, share games and all this stuff. And then he showed the ad with the Sony people where they're like, "Here's how you share a game on the PlayStation," and they just had 2
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
gave them um, but yeah, Xbox has turned into an entertainment console, and people are like, well, this used to be gaming. And I wonder the people who were there on the 360 and rightfully so, when they saw that, when did they, if they did, make the realization that PlayStation is moving in the direction that they want to go in? And
Mhm.
those people then jumped the ship and went to PlayStation.
Yeah, they're like
Or
the gamers.
yeah, because I think I know you're right with the brand loyalty. That's why I've stayed with PlayStation. Thank God I chose the
Mhm,
right one. But it's just because that's always what I had, and I'm sure
mhm,
there's people growing up who had the original Xbox, and they just you know they're loyal, like whether it's blind or not,
mhm.
they just follow that because it's what they know.
Yeah, and I, like, from my personal experience, at least, like, besides you, all my other friends have Xboxes,
Damn.
but they're not ga
Yeah.
they're
Right.
not gamers. They
Yeah.
again, they play 2K every now and then when their friends are on.
Bro,
They
there's
play
anyone who
they
listens to us who plays 2K. We're sorry.
Dude,
We're just cooking your shit.
I play 2K and
Fucking
Madden too,
2K people, bro. You play
but but
Madden.
but I play it on PlayStation because I got other games I gotta play
You're
too.
right.
Um, but, like, yeah, they play 2K, they play Madden, they play NHL, like, that like, every now and then when their friends are over. Like, those are my friends. That's what they
Yeah.
do. And they use their Xbox to watch Netflix. Dude, I don't think I've ever opened up Netflix on my PlayStation, ever. Like, I
Nah,
don't
never,
even think
never.
of my PS5 as, a system where I can watch, like, Netflix or like Hulu or whatever on, which is funny because like right now I'm looking at a monitor, right, which is connected to this. If I want to watch Netflix on this, like I'm going onto my computer and then putting on Netflix instead of going on my PlayStation.
Right. Again, circling this back, nice tying it up. It's like, dude, that innovation thing where they go and they put all this stuff on there. They got Spotify, they got
Mhm.
YouTube, Hulu, Twitch. I'm like, bro, who's turning on their fucking PlayStation to go watch Twitch streamers? Who's doing that?
Yeah.
Like,
Which I don't know if you can do, like if you can do the picture in picture thing. I think that would be cool if like you can play a video game and then put Twitch up in like the top right corner or something and it's
yeah, and then
playing.
and then you see your router smoking.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You need, like, really good internet.
You need that Bell fiber,
I
like
do I do like the Spotify, though, because 'cause I'll play music while I'm, like, gaming or whatever.
yeah, that's a good innovation. I like that. I get that. Um, but if you were on your PlayStation just to be playing
Mhm.
Spotify only,
Oh, yeah.
that's strange.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Yeah, you turn well, I kn no,
Just staring at your
we
TV.
know someone that does it. Dude, he always had his PlayStation on playing Spotify.
Yeah, it's like, brother,
Hey,
you're
Matt, hold on. You're like, "Oh, yo, hold on. I'll put on some music." Turns out takes your controller out. Turns on.
It's like, yo, yo, let me blast some tunes really
Yeah,
quick.
dude.
Like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, is that PS5 controller?
Yeah,
Like, dude, don't you have like a JBL or something? Nah,
yeah,
it is it definitely at one point again with the whole Halo thing, wrap it up like it was a war at some point between these two. I think that war has, long come to an end. I think it came to an end probably at the PS4 era.
mhm.
But seeing this Halo announcement, um, yeah, I'm gonna buy this when it's like $20 for sure. Um, and give it a shot. But I think this is it's a good move for the community. Like, all of us gamers should be happy that if you never had the chance like myself, now you can play it. Um, but anybody saying that Microsoft is still doing great and like the Xbox is succeeding, I think you need to check your head. And I don't think it's coming to the end for them. They're gonna I don't know what they're gonna have when the PS6 comes out. We're already hyped for that. I mean,
Mhm.
bro, what is Xbox gonna do? Like,
Wow, that dude, Microsoft just owns everything. They could be like, you know what? We're gonna make like we have PCs. Screw the consoles.
yeah,
Microsoft
I mean that
PCs.
right. I mean, maybe they just get out of it and they just leave
Mhm,
Sony to the console realm. That
mhm.
might be a smart move, but we'll
Or
see. Who
Microsoft
knows?
and Sony combine forces to create like a
Yeah,
mega system to
yeah, hell no.
outdo the PCs.
Yeah, who's the guy in charge of Microsoft? Is it Phil Spencer? Is it the guy's name?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, ain't no chance that guy's
Nah,
letting
it's
it
not a
go.
both of them make way too much money
Yeah,
to ever
no,
like merge.
nah, it would that would be a merger for like the Eon.
I don't even think the FCC would allow it. They'd be like, no way. What are you guys talking about?
Yeah, massive powers coming
This
together
merger?
like
Yeah,
that.
no. That's a
Yeah, no.
monopoly. That's not happening.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That would be dangerous,
Because
but
Microsoft, like, they own like
so
every
much.
developer right now.
Yeah, yeah, and their only competition is Sony,
Yeah, yeah,
or one
yeah,
of their main
yeah,
competitions
yeah.
is Sony.
They can't do that. They can't
No,
merge.
no, which is good for us because PlayStation is phenomenal. So, but
Mhm,
yeah, man, I think that does it honestly for the main things we wanted to talk about. I mean, we're obviously excited about the stuff for Black Ops 7 with the maps. Hopefully, we'll be getting some more stuff as we get closer. We do have our Black Ops 6 review, so be sure to be ready for that one. Get some snacks and some drinks because it's going to be a
mhm.
long one.
This one's gonna be an interesting one.
Yeah,
It's gonna
this
be
is gonna be
very
quite an
different.
interesting yeah, it's gonna be different than the other ones, just because this was an odd year for sure, so
Mhm.
be sure to be, tuned in for that one. We'll be, updating on Twitter for sure when we're getting close to that launch, but yeah, man, I think that does it, huh?
Yeah, if,
Cool.
if you guys we have timestamps too. Skip to, like, 25 minutes if you don't wanna hear us talking about, like, other stuff.
I put those timestamps in there for a reason. So if you want to take advantage of them, if not, if you want to listen to the rant, we appreciate
Yeah.
it. And let us know what you think about it. And again, with the topics that we just had, do let us know what you think about it in the comments on YouTube.
Mhm,
And we'll have a poll for sure, just talking about some of the things that we discussed today, whether it's the Halo stuff or talking about the remastered maps. If you think they're going to be a big impact, just let us know. And yeah, again, good stuff. We like
mhm.
your opinion on it. So I think that does it, huh?
Yeah.
Cool. So again, everybody, thank you so much for listening to this episode number 246 of the COD Casuals podcast. Be sure to go to anchor.fm/COD Casuals since we're there on all the platforms and go to the TikTok and Instagram to go watch the shorts. Be sure to give us a follow over there. I had to check TikTok. I think we're nearly at 1,000. We were like 3 off of it. So if that hasn't changed, be sure to be the 1,000th person. We'd appreciate it. And then, of
Oh,
course,
wait.
if you
If we hit 1,000, I think we can start live streaming, I think. I don't know if we
let
could
me hold on.
dude,
Let me check right
confirm.
now. Let me check
If we
what we're
can
at.
live stream,
998. Get on it.
yeah.
Two people.
We might be able to, like, stream some of the CDL matches
That would be
and
quite
turn,
nice.
like, our reactions and stuff.
Mm. So get on there. Go give us
Yeah.
a follow. Give us to the 1,000 so we can start doing that. That'd be much appreciated. And like I was saying before, be sure to go to Twitter or X at COD Casual since we're going to be tweeting there all the time. Best way to keep in contact with us. And of course, on all platforms, 5-star rating. As always,
Mhm.
we appreciate it. It helps the channel a lot. And again, we always appreciate the feedback. And I think that
Yeah.
does it, huh? So,
Yeah, Black
again,
Ops
everybody,
7 to
thank you
the
for
moon.
listening. What's that?
Black Ops 7 to the moon with
Black
us.
Ops 7 to the moon. 100%. But again, everyone, thank you for listening to episode number 246 of the COD Casuals podcast. We're your host, Mike,
I'm Justin.
and we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.
See ya.